Hey, half a day, everybody. Oh, wow, half a day. It's election day in DC. Who voted? All right, everybody else, you got to get out there and vote. Come on. So we live in a democracy. Happy Ocean Week. Happy Pride. I also want to welcome all of you to Upwell 2024. It's an honor to stand before you today as we gather to discuss critical issues related to our oceans and their future. My name is Angelo Villagomez, and I am thrilled to be your MC today, all day. Upwell is not just another conference, it's a movement. It's a wave of change that seeks to address the inequities that have plagued our ocean for too long. As we gather here, we recognize that access to ocean resources and influence in shaping ocean policy have been historically uneven across racial, economic, gender, and generational lines. Today, we stand united to shift that narrative. The people in this room are at the forefront of changing the who of conservation. And in doing so, you are changing the how of conservation. We are here to build power, exert influence, demand justice, kick open that door, and smash that glass ceiling. Many of you, what I like to call the first and our only. And if this is you, please clap. The first in your family to get a college degree. The only person of color at your job or on your team. You sometimes feel like you're the only person who thinks and looks like you, but that narrative is changing. Look around. This is your community in this room. I see young advocates who are challenging the old folks like myself to do better. I see the first Native superintendent of the Mariana Trench Monument. I see Hispanic and Black CEOs of national ocean NGOs. I see the first Hispanic woman to lead the refuge system. And she's not here yet, but pretty soon we'll see the first African woman to lead conservation work at the White House. And it's my honor to introduce you to the first Native American woman to serve as a cabinet secretary. It is my honor to introduce our keynote speaker today. Secretary Deb Haaland made history as the first Native American to serve as a cabinet secretary. By elevating the untold stories of American history, making groundbreaking progress to strengthen tribal and indigenous communities, and delivering historic conservation policies, Secretary Haaland has transformed the entire agency's approach to internal and external forward progress. For example, in 2023 alone, the Interior Department grew the number of public land co-stewardship agreements with tribes across the country from 20 to 200, the largest ever increase in history. Secretary Haaland has said, Native American history is American history. Under her leadership, the Department of the Interior has taken great strides in telling the untold and hidden history of tribal and indigenous peoples in the United States. Secretary Haaland has established the Missing and Murdered Unit with the Bureau of Indian Affairs to ensure cross-departmental and interagency work pursuing justice in the epidemic of missing and murdered American Indians and Alaska Natives. She established the Federal Indian Boarding School Initiative to investigate the history of American Indian boarding schools. And to further seek justice and tell these underrepresented stories, Secretary Haaland launched the Road to Healing Tour, a years-long effort to travel across the country in order to give Indigenous survivors of the Federal Indian boarding school system the opportunity to share their stories and be connected with trauma-informed support. Secretary Haaland has also played a leading role in driving the America the Beautiful initiative, the first ever national conservation goal committed to improving access to nature for all Americans, fighting climate change, and protecting 30% of US lands and waters by 2030. In 2023 alone, the Department of the Interior protected more than 12.5 million acres of public lands as national monuments, mineral withdrawals, wildlife refuges, and more, safeguarding nearly the same amount of lands in 2023 as during the administration's first 2 years. Combined, all these areas would be about the size of the state of Virginia. Through overseeing record-setting investments, leading new co-stewardship agreements, issuing directives to include Indigenous traditional ecological knowledge, and following through on tribal and Indigenous consultations, Secretary Haaland has done more than any of her predecessors to conserve our nation's land and waters and to enable tribal and Indigenous communities to lead that work. Secretary Haaland has left an indelible mark on the Department of the Interior with her unwavering commitment to address environmental justice, combat climate change, and prioritize the well-being of Indigenous communities. Please join me in welcoming Secretary Auntie Deb Haaland to the stage.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Angelo. That was incredibly kind. I appreciate everything you do for our ocean and everything all of you do for our ocean. Guatsi haupa duhiname etzakiwitsa shuimi hanu.